an. Doch, du sitzt vielleicht weiter.
Oh. Oh. Der zum Abschluss.
On May 14, 2018, a thrilling 9-ball match unfolded promising a big cash prize. Fans eagerly awaited the showdown between billiard sensation Vivian Villarreal and the legendary Efren Reyes.
Missed this ball.
However, the game took an unexpected turn as tensions rose between the two players. Join us as we uncover the details of this intense showdown where Villarreal attempted to challenge Reyes, but ended up learning a lesson instead. The battle between two legends. In an amazing battle, Vivian Villarreal faced the ultimate billiards titan Efren Reyes, regarded as the WPBA circuit's most incredible player. Vivian Villarreal has solidified her position as a force to be reckoned with since her debut in 1991. Leading the way by winning no less than 3 WPBA championships, she went on to win the esteemed Player of the Year award from Pool and Billiard magazine in 1992 for her impressive victory. Her opponent, Efren "Bata" Reyes, is the WPA 9-ball world champion and 8-ball world champion, and he has written his name in history as one of the best players to ever grace the sport. He chalked up and continued to dominate events like the Sands Region 9-ball Open, All Japan Championship, WPA 9-ball Asian Tour, and Derby City Classic. Particularly at the Derby City Classic, he had a record 13 titles. Efren Reyes demonstrated his unmatched playing abilities by defeating American champion Earl Strickland twice in money-colored contests. In no time, the game was on, and the face-off was a clash between experience and aggression as Reyes faced Villarreal. Attention was focused on who'd capitalize during the break shot. Villarreal boldly pocketed the 9-ball early, but Reyes then played defensively, prompting Villarreal to attempt a daring jump shot that missed the mark. A minor scratch on Vivian's cue stick posed a significant hurdle, allowing Efren Reyes to seize control. Poised to pocket the 1 ball, he meticulously aligned the subsequent shots. With a smooth stroke, Reyes sent the cue ball spinning into the ideal position, showcasing his masterful touch and precision. Reyes seemed determined to deliver a memorable performance for the spectators, while Villarreal recognized the formidable challenge presented by his opponent. Though Villarreal initially appeared flustered, Reyes demonstrated his legendary status as the match progressed. His every shot exuded poise and precision, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest billiard players ever. As they entered the second round, the magician showed his skill of quickly securing a 2-0 lead with a combination shot involving balls 1 and 2, quickly advancing the scoreboard to a towering 3-0. With brimming confidence, Reyes sets out to finish the match as quickly as possible. However, fate takes a turn when Vivian quickly takes the single ball, applying significant force in her attempt to push it towards the 2 balls and almost sinking the 9 with the power of her shot. Against expectation, the magician misses the next shot with the 2 balls. It is when Vivian makes up her mind to use the rails to pocket the 2 balls, but she is off. Unlike Reyes, who comfortably sinks the 9 ball with 1 stroke and makes an easy transition to pocket the 3 ball and position for the 4 ball, the magician's shot is worth much praise. It is inexplicable for any viewer to fathom such expertise and ability when Efren Reyes is of such advanced age. At 65, then facing the much younger, still in her prime Vivian Villarreal, he does things that ought to have been reserved for younger players. While analysts suggest Reyes' peak performance spanned from 1990 to 2010, It is understandable that he is not operating in his prime, so when he sets up for the 9-ball but misses, it's still forgivable. Reyes provides the cue ball space to Vivian. While competing, he attempts to employ the rail's edge to pocket a ball, but resorts to tactical defense instead. Vivian endeavors publicly humiliating Reyes by missing an intended side pocket shot on purpose, granting him sole remaining ball possession. Dramatically, the skilled illusionist Reyes executes a super maneuver to the amazement of onlookers, deservingly repaying Vivian's rude conduct with poetic justice. From the path of that ball, it is possible to grasp how few such shots have ever been recorded in billiards. Many times, the impossible happens before the 9-ball is pocketed, proving its rightfulness in the 9-ball and moving on to the next round. The match was clearly favoring Efren Reyes with its score of 4-1. His outstanding skills were undoubtedly accompanied by a nice stroke of luck at some point. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Villarreal demonstrated her skills with confidence. She smoothly pocketed both balls without any pause at the back and collected 3 more in one, displaying remarkably accurate and strong shots. Villarreal's confidence on the table and accurate shooting potentiates her great abilities. However, the question that burned everyone's lips was, would her undeniable talent be sufficient to overtake Efren Reyes' mastery? The game was at a tipping point, as the seasoned player led the first-time competitor by just a few balls. Villarreal's unstinting concentration and determination were clear as she hedged her next steps, seeking to change the course of things to come. Meanwhile, the audience observed with bated breath, desperate to know the result of this competition between the expert and the novice. After she lines up the looks for the 5 balls, sending it cleanly into the pocket, the hopes for the champion start to rise. However, she does not manage to do well and fails to pocket the 6th ball, thus fortuitously. In one moment, from a state of disbelief, Villarreal struggles with the consequences of her mistake and understanding the implications of the situation, while Efren Reyes seizes the opportunity by harnessing every ounce of skill to reduce the gap to 6-2. However, through his strategic genius, he is able to make several moves that, within no time, bring the score to 7-2. While the challenge seemed insurmountable, it is worth acknowledging that Vivian Villarreal's performance was highly commendable in terms of maintaining her resilience and offering Reyes a challenge. She even gets to the point of being in a position to put the 6th ball and the 7th ball on her way for the contest, and instead changes her focus to the 8th ball. Unfortunately, the tide of fortune is not in her favor as incoming communication condemns her struggle. The 9-ball teeters on the edge of the pocket, out of reach. In response, the magician quietly pulls out his bag of tricks, executing a smooth shot that goes off 2 rails to cleanly pocket the 6th ball. While Bata Reyes lines up for the 7 ball, Vivian Villarreal stands tall with the mechanical bridge, ready to seize her opportunity with precision. She lines up for the 8 ball and effortlessly sinks the 9 ball, making her look effortless as she takes down round number 3, advancing the score to 8-3. Securing a victory against the wizard is no small feat, so Vivian's celebration is undeniably well-deserved. However, with the Bata maintaining a significant lead, his determination only intensifies as he seeks to assert his dominance even further. Despite Reyes' advantage, he graciously allows Vivian to pocket the 2 balls, showing his sportsmanship in the midst of the competition. Vivian takes advantage of this opportunity by executing a tactical combination that earned her applause from the crowd at the end of the game and conclusion. But the magician decides that he's had enough and quickly takes control of the game, taking advantage of his signature Z shot to completely alter the course of the game. This famous shot, initiated by Efren Reyes during the 1995 Sands Regency Reno Open, has remained a highlight for billiards enthusiasts ever since. Facing a seemingly insurmountable challenge, Reyes employed the Z-shot as a final attempt in 1995, executing a two-cushion shot at a speed that surprisingly pocketed the 5-ball, leaving him in prime position for the 6-ball. Even esteemed commentator Jim Rempe, alongside his rival at that moment, Earl Strickland, couldn't help but applaud Reyes' remarkable feat. Over the years, fans have debated whether Reyes intended to pocket the 5-ball or simply pull off a legal hit, making this shot a topic of constant discussion, fascination, and debate. Vivian Villarreal successfully pots the 5 balls, breaking the group formed by the 8, 6, and 9 balls. She accurately aims at the 6 balls, targeting the side pocket with notable power. However, Efren Reyes intervenes by choosing to play defensively on the 6th ball and executing an impeccable leather. Villarreal is visibly shocked as she deals with Magician's strategic move, making her unable to make contact with the 6th ball and awarding Reyes the ball in hand. Despite Villarreal's valiant efforts and flashes of brilliance, Reyes' tactical prowess shines, allowing him to maintain a consistent lead. While Villarreal manages to secure rounds underscoring her talent and stamina, it becomes increasingly evident that Reyes' dominance of the game is unsurpassed. By positioning himself impeccably, Reyes skillfully sinks the 7 ball by executing a shot along the rail that leaves him ready to line up for the 8 ball with precision. The cue ball brushes the cue ball before settling into perfect alignment for the 8 ball. There, Reyes expertly navigates the rail, positioning himself for the final shot on the 9 ball, but to his surprise, Villarreal interrupts his shot, gracefully conceding the game to Efren Reyes as she exits the match without proving victory. The two opponents embrace and bring the match between the legends of billiards to an end. Later in an interview, Villarreal revealed that she holds Efren Reyes in high regard as her all-time billiards hero, and said that no one can replicate his incomparable skills that have given him the rightly earned nickname Magician. Even after losing to him in their first match together, they still maintain their close friendship. And for her, Efren personifies greatness on the pool table, executing feats that defy all logic. She said that his defeat means nothing and that she still admires him, recognizing him as her hero and marveling at his skill to take shots that leave his rivals in awe. The Magician is a great player and has proven himself to the world, but there are also some who have earned the respect of the great Efren Reyes, the Pearl Earl Strickland. One of the greatest 9-ball players of all time is American professional pool player Earl Strickland. Along with 3 world titles, he has won more than 100 championship titles. He was admitted into the American Billiards Congress Hall of Fame in 2006. As the first player to run 10 consecutive racks in a tournament, Strickland won the PCA $1 million challenge in 1996, earning the biggest cash prize to date. Due to his candid opinions and occasionally erratic behavior during competitions, he is also regarded as one of the sport's most controversial players. Strickland started playing pool at the age of 8. After intensive practice, he entered his first professional tournament at age 16. Strickland rose to national prominence in 1983 with a victory in the Caesars Tahoe Billiard Classic, defeating Steve Miserak in the finals and winning $35,000. This was followed in 1984 by winning the McDermott Masters 9-ball championship. Sources claim that Strickland performed like a polished gem. He was emerging as a formidable competitor and was tipped to become the next world champion. He possessed the ability, stamina, forbearance, temperament, or persistence that makes someone a champion. Because of his dominance, Strickland was named the National Billiard News Player of the Year in 1984. He won the 1988 PBA World 9-Ball Championship after a momentous final confrontation between himself and Mike Siegel. Because the tournament was being taped for a 7-week broadcast, a 45-second shot cleats was employed to track each shot. Siegel remarked at the end that he could sense the pressure of being timed. Strickland, on the other hand, said they could have made it only 30 seconds between shots, and it wouldn't have mattered. At the 2004 Derby City Classic, a week-long multiple tournament event held every January in Louisville, Kentucky, Strickland was one of 6 competitors in a 9-ball ring game. Veteran Grady Matthews, when introducing Strickland, says that when Strickland is in the house, a hush ensues, and there is an expectation due to his brilliant shot-making capabilities and unpredictable behavior. Strickland has communicated with spectators, athletes, officials from the tournament, and referees. Particularly well known was his 2003 WPBA World 9-Ball Championship duel against snooker great Steve Davis. In an especially heated interview with a Sky Sports reporter before the game, Strickland expressed his displeasure with the supporters' mistreatment of him and claimed that Davis was the center of attention. The manager of Davis, Barry Hearn, oversaw Matchroom Sport, which was in charge of organizing the tournament. In order to get viewers in the UK, Davis was highly featured on Sky's coverage. He also appeared upset that Sky Sports had shown numerous replays during the build-up to the match of Davis beating him in the previous year's Mosconi Cup, the match which settled the event in favor of Team Europe. At the 2022 Mosconi Cup, Strickland became the oldest player to be selected at the age of 61, although he only secured a single point for his team in a doubles match. This next player is best known for his dominance in the 1980s. His ability to hold players with safety plays got him his stage name. The Captain Hook of Pool's American professional pool player, Michael Siegel, goes by the alias Captain Hook. His tendency to hook opponents with safety plays earned him the nickname. In both 9-ball and straight pool, Siegel dominated the 1980s and holds the record with a streak of 339 balls in straight pool. Most people agree that Mike Siegel is among the all-time great pool players. Siegel was selected by Billiards Digest magazine as the greatest living player of the century in 2000. Siegel is one of the most successful players of all time, having won over 100 professional pool tournaments and numerous major titles in both 9-ball and straight pool, including the BCA US Open Straight Pool Championship, 3 World Straight Pool Championships, and 3 US Open 9-ball championship titles. Siegel turned pro in 1973 at the age of 21 years old. A few years later, Siegel continued his reputation as one of the best 9-ball players in the country. By 1986, Siegel had won 63 out of the 68 professional tournament finals he had reached, earning himself the infamous nickname Mr. Finals. He played himself in the 1980 Baltimore Bulletin. He was also the technical advisor, instructor, and sports choreographer for most of the shots made by Paul Newman and Tom Cruise in the Academy Award-winning film The Color of Money in 1986. Siegel was a dominant player in the 1980s and has been on the cover of numerous trade magazines such as Billiards Digest, Pool and Billiards, Inside Pool, Billiard News, and Bike Week. He has been featured in Sports Illustrated, Life, People, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Playboy, Parade, Baltimore Magazine, Orlando Sentinel, Silver Screen, and Cigar Aficionado. Siegel was named Player of the Year 3 times in 1981, 1983, and 1986 by Billiards Digest and Pool and Billiards Magazine. In 2005, Siegel won the IPT 8-ball exhibition match between him and Laurie John Jones. The victory earned him $150,000. That same year, he was seeded in the final of the King of the Hill 8-ball shootout, the next event of the IPT. There he met Efren Reyes, who played his way through the tournament. In the match, Reyes defeated him and took home $200,000, and Siegel got $100,000 for second place. Siegel won the largest first-place prize in a pool tournament at the time on 3 occasions, winning $25,000 in 1979, $30,000 in 1981, and $40,000 in 1986. The only player to surpass this feat in the modern era is Efren Reyes. In 1987, Siegel became the first player to earn over $100,000 in prize winnings in a single year on the Pro Tour. In 1989, he became the youngest male to be inducted into the Billiards Congress of America Hall of Fame at the age of 35. In 1994, Siegel became the first male pool player to win 100 professional tournaments in pocket billiards at the age of 41. Siegel might have won a huge cash prize, but this next player is best known as one of the best straight pool players of all time. The great Stephen Mizrak Jr., born in Perth, New Jersey, Stephen Mizrak Jr. was an American pool player. Mizrak is regarded as one of the all-time greats in straight pool play. In the 1970s, he dominated the game and finished his career with almost 70 tournament victories. Mizrak set a record by winning the BCA U.S. Open Straight Pool Championship 4 times in a row. He also won the World Straight Pool Championship 3 times. He was dubbed the Miz and had a career-high 421 balls. Mizrak, a lefty, began playing pool under the guidance of his father, who for many years had been the New Jersey state champion. Mizrak's father opened a pool hall in Metuchen. There, Mizrak played billiards for the first time at the age of 4. At the age of 5, Mizrak trained for hours every day before doing his first exhibitions at the age of 6. By the age of 11, he had already run 50 balls in a straight pool and 100 by the age of 13. Won the Perth Amboy City Championship at the age of 15. He was turned away from that tournament the following year because they found him to be too skilled. Mizrak's future was envisioned by many observers and players as being bright, and he was already being compared to Willie Mosconi. In 1965, when Mizrak was 20 years old, he qualified for the World Straight Pool Championship, where he shocked the pool world by defeating top players like Irving Crane, Luther Lassiter, and Joe Balsas. The 1960s saw a decline for the World Straight Pool Championship as the era of the hustlers in the Johnston City Championship was growing. After realizing that he would never be able to support himself as a professional pool player, Mizrak continued his education at Athens College in Athens, Alabama. Mizrak attended St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, for a while before earning a degree in education, psychology, and history from Athens College in 1967. He then took a position as a history and geography teacher at a secondary school in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, where he taught for 13 years. Mizrak became famous outside of pool circles after appearing in a humorous commercial for Miller Lite Beer in 1978, in which he executed 3 complicated shots and then proclaimed that you can really work up a thirst, even when you're just showing off. Due to his fame as a result of this commercial, in 1980, Mizrak quit his job as a teacher to further promote Miller Lite in billiards demonstrations at trade shows while continuing on the tournament circuit. He did another dozen or so Miller Lite ads over the next decade. These advertisements helped popularize the pool, and Mizrak himself became well known nationally. he was invited to exhibitions regularly. However, Mizrak struggled in competitions because of his busy schedule of exhibitions promoting Miller Lite. By this time, Mizrak had established himself as one of the best players in the world, winning the BCA U.S. Open Straight Pool Championship 4 years in a row, a record that still stands. In 1979, Mizrak once again proved his dominance by winning the U.S. Open 9-ball championship, defeating Jim Rempe in the finals and going undefeated in the tournament. In the 1970s, Mizrak had 40 professional tournament victories, more than any other player that decade. Due to this, Mizrak was inducted into the Billiard Congress of America Hall of Fame in 1980. At the time, Mizrak was the youngest player ever to receive this honor. Mizrak was able to devote just a limited amount of his attention to the game itself because he was still in high demand as an advertising face in the 1980s. He appeared in the 1986 motion picture The Color of Money as a guest. Mizrak won several 9-ball competitions during the 1980s in addition to back-to-back World Straight Pool Championship titles in 1982 and 1983. After that, however, in the 90s, weight problems prevented him from winning other big titles, even though he continued to actively play in tournaments and win smaller events. He reached a major final in 1989 and won his 5th final of the U.S. Open Straight Pool Championship, although he fell short to German champion Oliver Ortmann. Mizrak moved to Florida in the mid-1990s, and in 1996 he started the senior circuit for professional pool players. He maintained a billiards parlor in Lake Park, Florida, owned a company in Florida that sold billiard equipment, and authored instructional books including Just Showing Off, The Queen of Doom, Allison Fisher. Fisher was born on the 24th of February, 1968 in Cheshire and grew up in Tunbridge, Kent, and lived later in Peacehaven, East Sussex. She started playing pool when she was 7. She won her first world title at the age of 17. To date, she has won over 80 national titles and 11 world titles in total. Throughout the 1980s, she made various attempts to qualify for the main men's snooker tour, which contained around 128 players at the time, but these attempts were unsuccessful. However, by 1991, the tour had changed considerably, meaning all players had to do to become a professional on the main tour was pay an entry fee. This meant over 500 players played in qualifying rounds for the ranking tournaments. Fisher reached round 4 of the qualifying rounds of the 1994 World Championship, where she was beaten by Roger Garrett 10-4. She was unable to progress into the higher reaches of the ranking lists, and by 1997 she lost her professional status. Feeling that she did not receive the same respect as the male players, she moved to the United States to play on the WPBA Tour. On 18th of March 2009, she endorsed the Delta 13 billiard rack and has her own signature series. Fisher did not take long to make her mark in the world of pool, winning only the second tournament that she played in. She has an unequaled record, winning over 60 WPBA titles as of 2021, which includes 4 World 9-ball championships. Since her move, she has also been the highest-earning player on a number of occasions, which takes into account male and female players. Matchroom Sports invited her to play in the Matchroom Snooker League, and she was also invited to play in the Mosconi Cup 1994, when Europe lost 16-12 against Team USA. She was the top-ranked player on the Women's Professional Billiards Association WPBA circuit from September 1996 to June 2001, and again each year from 2002 to 2007. In 2009, Fisher was inducted into the Billiard Congress of America Hall of Fame. Fisher was nicknamed the Duchess of Doom and gained a reputation similar to that of the 16-time darts world champion Phil Taylor and snooker players Joe Davis, Steve Davis, and Stephen Hendry in the 1930s and 80s, 90s, respectively. Her greatest season was the 2000-2001 season when she won 8 consecutive major pro pool tournaments. In the 2005 season, Fisher was the highest earner, winning $111,000. So what did you think of Vivian Villarreal trying to humiliate Efren Reyes? Did she get what she deserved? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.